Welcome to The Explainer. Sometimes it's the tiniest words that pack the biggest punch in English. Today, we're talking all about phrasal verbs. They can seem a little tricky, for sure, but trust me, getting a handle on them is going to unlock a whole new level of sounding like a native speaker.
Okay, so let's jump right in with a question to get you thinking. When you're supporting a friend, would you say you stand by them or do you back them up? I mean, they both kind of mean support, right? Well, not quite. One is more about being loyal, and the other is about taking action.
And that right there is the magic of phrasal verbs. See, if you stand by someone, it means you're loyal, you're there for them emotionally. But if you back them up, you are actively helping them, you're defending them. That difference is absolutely crucial. And getting it right is what makes you sound so much more clear and confident.
All right, so let's dive into our first example. We'll start with something super common, just writing things down. Sounds simple enough, but you'll see how even here, these tiny little words can completely change the vibe of what you're doing.
So what's really the difference between putting down your thoughts and getting them down? Well, when you put something down, it's pretty neutral, right? It's just the simple act of recording it. But when you get your ideas down, that feels different. It has this energy to it, this focus. It's like you're really starting a creative session. You can almost feel that shift in energy, can't you?
And this table here really breaks down that whole shift. With put down, the focus is on the result. You're just jotting down a few notes. But get down is all about the process. You're motivated, you're diving into a real writing session. It's amazing how the tone just flips from, mechanical to totally motivated, all because of one little word.
Okay, now let's switch gears and head to the office. The workplace is a place where being precise with your words is everything. Seriously, one tiny word can change the entire scope of a project or what you're even asking for.
So imagine this. You've just finished a new proposal. Are you going to put it up or put it out? It matters. If you put up a proposal, you're showing it to people inside your company. Your boss, your team, so you can all talk about it. But if you put out a proposal, that means you're releasing it to the world, to the public, maybe for other companies to bid on. So the real key here is who you're talking to, your audience.
And this next one is a brilliant example of formality. Think about it. You hand over evidence to the police. That's a very deliberate, formal, serious kind of transfer. But at the dinner table, you just pass over the salt, right? Totally casual, totally relaxed. The core verb itself gives you a huge clue. Handing something over just feels way more direct and intentional than just passing it.
With this next pair, the nuance is all about emotion and reliability. On one side, we have come through with, and on the other, come across with. So if your colleague comes through with that report you needed, it means they delivered, they kept their promise, they met expectations, it's a great thing. But if they come across with the report, that implies they were reluctant, like you had to pressure them to get it. So one is all about success, and the other hints at resistance.
All right, let's really raise the stakes now. What about in a crisis? In a high-stakes situation, the right phrasal verb can communicate so much. Urgency, a direct command, all in just two little words. Let's take a look at how these phrases perform when things get really intense.
You can see a clear escalation of intensity here. Let's say someone is bothering you. You might start by telling them to lay off. It's firm, but it's a request to stop a specific thing, like teasing. Now, if they get too close, physically or emotionally, you'd level up to back off. That's a direct warning to create some distance. And then there's piss off. Yeah, that's a hostile, vulgar command telling them to get lost entirely. You can feel how the intensity just ramps up with each phrase. And what about when you're spotting danger? Is it look out for or watch out for? Well, look out for is about actively scanning your environment for a potential risk. You look out for bears when you're hiking. But watch out for is totally different. It's an urgent warning about an immediate threat. You'd scream, watch out for that car. One is about general awareness. The other is a direct, in-the-moment alert.
Okay, now think about being in a real moment of crisis. If you tell someone to hold on, that has a very specific, very urgent meaning. It's about active endurance, like you're telling them to grip on tight, stay strong, because you're waiting for a specific resolution, like the rescue team to arrive.
But then you have hang in there, which is totally different. That's not for an immediate life-or-death crisis. It's for a long, drawn-out struggle. It's about giving someone supportive, patient encouragement. You're not waiting for a rescue helicopter. You're just trying to get through a tough week at work. So one is about urgent survival, and the other is about patient persistence. Big difference.
All right, let's bring it back down to everyday life, because these little words are constantly shaping our social interactions in ways we might not even notice, from how we talk about falling asleep to making a first impression.
So when it comes to sleep, the real difference here is all about intention. Did you actually mean to go to sleep? If you turn in for the night, that's a deliberate choice. You decided it's bedtime. But you drop off to sleep by accident, while you're watching a movie on the couch. One is a conscious decision, and the other just kinda happens.
Now this one is really subtle, but it's so important for how we describe people. If you say someone comes off as arrogant, there's a little bit of a critical tone there. It kind of suggests they might be trying to seem a certain way and it's not quite working, or maybe the impression is just superficial. But saying they come across as arrogant is much more neutral. That's just the natural overall vibe they're giving off. See the difference?
So, we've looked at examples from the office, from a crisis, from just daily life. After all that, what's the big takeaway here? What are the master keys you can use to start really nailing these phrases yourself?
Really, it all boils down to 3 simple rules. First, always focus on the core verb. The difference between hand and pass is your biggest first clue. Second, always think about the context. Are you in a formal office meeting or at a casual party? And third, listen for the feeling behind the action. Is it active or passive? Is it gentle or forceful? Is it reliable or a little reluctant? If you keep these 3 things in mind, they'll be your guide to figuring out almost any phrasal verb.
And that's really the challenge for you. Start paying attention to these tiny words, not just when other people are speaking, but when you are. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other tiny words in your own vocabulary might be changing your entire meaning without you even realizing it?